A very good morning. So now today I'm Dr. Eram Fatima from the Department of Languages. Today I will be doing lecture 4 with you, and we have business writing, and here we will be covering formal letter and informal letter. Along with this, we will be doing format of a business letter, then the types of letter. Types of letter would incorporate inquiries and responses, complaints and responses to complaints. Then we'll be doing, along with this, we'll be doing report writing, how report is made, its definition, types, and what is the structure. So, what is a business letter? Now, business letter is a letter which is basically, it's a formal, you have to understand that it's a formal written kind of a communication that is used in a very professional setting. And typically it is sent between businesses, or between a business and a customer. It could be between two business houses, or it could be also between customer and a business, or to a client, or to any external party. So it uses very formal language, and there's always a very specific format when we talk about business letter. And business, of course, letter is very important, and it is prevalent, it's like happening, it's a kind of a day-to-day endeavor. And companies, they always use it to convey any important information that needs to be conveyed between two companies, between two organizations, between company and individuals, between company and clients, so on and so forth. So it's a kind of a message, it's kind of a information that is shared. And it includes any kind of inquiry letter, any kind of offer letter. You can get a job offer. There could be any inquiry that has taken place against you, of in against you or in the favor of you. It could be anything. There could be an order letter, there could be a cover letter, any kind of notices. It could also mean termination of employment. So there are so many business letters that can happen on a day-to-day level. So this is what that you need to understand. Now, what is the function of a business letter? So business letter, of course, all informations, whether it is related to the product, whether it is, if it is a company that is in manufacturing certain products, and of course associated with it is like services that has to be done. Anything on product and services needs to be updated. So a business letter is usually shared via the business houses to the customers or to its client. And of course it's a kind of a it can turn and take a form of advertisements also, in the form of advertisements. So it leaves a very a kind of a durable impression on the receiver's mind about the message. Obviously it has to do with certain information, and it can reach anywhere. Of course the area is far and wide, and every business house has certain operation systems whereby the business letters can reach to any part of the country, as for that matter outside the country as well. And of course what is the basically aim is to have a very good and generate a goodwill of the company, of the organization. Then new business contacts are forged, and that are already existing, so they are also getting reinforced. So goodwill is very important. Why? Because the image of an organization is very important, and business has to be done in a very ethical way, in an ethical manner. So it serves as a record. Obviously we have the letter, so it is in black and white, so it can also serve as a record for any kind of future references. And of course knowledge of the past transactions, anything that has any agreement that has taken place, any transaction between two business firms, or between the client and the business house has taken place, with the customers, with the suppliers, anything that has taken place, and if it has a written form, it can be it means it is well documented, and it can be also preserved. And letters that are sent from any organization and it is received, it is always filed, it is kept in certain file, it is a source of reference as well. And definitely it's a legal document, definitely it's a legal document. And if there's any kind of differences, if there's any kind of dispute, any kind of doubt, it's a kind of an evidence that one can show obviously it is very, very substantial, and it's of course any, there could be many issues, there could be many problems that can come up in any business houses, and there could be mutual decisions probably might have taken place, and some transaction that might have taken place. So obviously if letters are sent, via letters informations are sent and informations are gathered, that anything and everything becomes foolproof. So of course business letters are a very important part and a very important document in any business settings for that matter. Now here you can see the non-personal, or kind of, there are like categories when we talk about business letters. It could be non-personal and it could be personal as well, but here we are talking about non-personal business letters. Now you see how varied it could be, the different, so many forms of business letters, at a glance that you can see here. So it could be in the form of inquiries. First there's an inquiry, then there's a reply to the inquiries. It could be in the form of a circular. It could be a bank correspondence to its client. It could be a correspondence between a company and a secretary. Any application letters, letters to any press, that one needs to send to or one needs to receive from. Letters could also be, there could be orders, and their execution in the form of letters. It could be sales letters, it could be correspondence with state government, central government in the form of letters. There could be agency, between two agency correspondence can take place. Complaints and confirmation of a promotion letter, one gets a promotion, one gets a letter, then there can be a confirmation of a promotion letter. There could be retrenchment, has to do with resignation. So there could be so many letters. So we have 4 different types in a broad spectrum. If we see, one could be official letters, other could be demi-official, is demi is half, semi-official letters. We can have internal or memos. Memos are within an organization. It's an everyday letter, it's a very short piece of letter, on an everyday basis. And we also have form letters. So we need to really understand what's really going on here. So we need to understand the concept. What is official, what is demi, what is internal, and what is form letters. So official letters are always written, to government or semi-government bodies. And the purpose, there are obviously demi letters and demi-official letters are addressed, to a person by its name. So basically you have to keep in mind that the name of the person is always written, and may be written, and if the matter so requires, and personal attention of the address, the whomsoever it is being addressed to, is always mentioned, and the matter is very, very confidential. So demi-official means the matter is very, very confidential, and it has to go and it has to reach to the specific person. So it amounts to being urgent, and it requires immediate disposal. Immediately the letter needs to be disposed and to be sent to the desired addressee. So supposedly a new commanding officer has been just recruited, and probably he's got a success, and he's got not just recruited, or probably a commanding officer has got a success and has become the new commanding officer after a raise. So obviously a success, for his or her success, a letter can be sent in. Internal letters are the memos, every day. This is like an everyday thing within an organization. It is never outside. It is an internal communication system within the business houses. And then we have the formal letters. Now what are formal letters? They are used for all kind of correspondences of any recurring, anything that is being recurred every day, any routine, nature thing, every day that is going on within an organization. So it's a routine set of letters, that is being sent to different employees. It could be in the form of any kind of acknowledgements, or any interview has to take place, any reminder has to be given to any anybody working in an organization, any notice has to be given, any appointment has to be made. So this is a part of form letters. So now let us see that what it could be a structure of a business letter. So this is just a preview of it. We'll go one by one and understand what it's all about. This is important, that understanding, so heading is there, date is there, reference, inside address, attention, salutation, subject, body, complimentary close, signature, identification marks, enclosure, CC, and postscript. Now we need to understand exactly what is like really going on, and every, you know, here whatever the, like as the structure goes, we need to understand one by one what are we really going to do. So first is the heading. Now the first structure enumerates heading. So what is a heading? Heading of a business letter has to do, it's printed basically at the top, and heading has to do with the name, you know, the name, the business, and the address of the company. So obviously wherever that you are sending it to, it has to have a name, to whom you are sending, the business, and the address of the company. It also includes all the telegraphic addresses, the telephone numbers, the telex numbers, fax numbers, everything has to be there, you know, and the emblem of the company is there. So it covers everything. Then the date has to appear. So the date is always, see, there's a format to the structure of a business letter. It appears 2 spaces below the heading on the right. And all formal letters, the name of the month is spelled out in full. You have to write the full spelling of the month. And the year is also written in 4 figures. Y is the pattern. So date can be written in either of the following ways. Could be an American way and the British format. So the American format, first is your British format, where you have the day, then you have the month, and then you have the year. You see the comma after your month. And the American format is first you have the month, then you have the day, you have a comma, and then you have the year. This is the basic format, and the company can decide upon whichever format that they need to choose. Then you have the reference number. So the letters are always, you know, recorded. Wherever the letter goes, it is always recorded on a dispatch register. From wherever it is going, there's always a register, you know, that is called a dispatch register. So it is always mentioned, the serial number is mentioned. So it is very necessary to one has to remember the reference number that is always mentioned, you know, this is important. Then we have the attention line. So this is, you know, attention line is used, you know, when the assignment that is described in the letter is dealt with any specified person or personnel. You know, if we need to convey to a certain person that yes, this letter has to be dealt with so and so person, so you can add the name of that person via attention line. Then we have the name and address of the recipient, you know, whosoever is going to receive, you know, so that is the inside address. So the recipient is जिसके पास letter जा रहा है, right? So it is called inside letter. Complete address of the recipient of the letter is given here, and the address, complete address is also given. And we have salutation is there, how you have to greet, 2 spaces below. And then subject heading is there, category, certain organization also, you know, mention very concise subject of the letter can be mentioned. Then we have the body of the letter. So whatever has to be mentioned, that's a core part, and it bears the main message, and it has an opening. It has to, so this also has a structure. You have to have a slight, you know, opening, a slight introductory part, then a middle is discussion, and end is bit of conclusion. Then we have the complementary close. So it appears 2 spaces just below the last line of the letter, and it has to be in vertical line with the date. So you have to, you know, set your letter in a way that it falls in the same line as that of the date, you know. And how do you end? What is a complementary close? It depends, you know, where the letter is going to whom the letter is going to, whether it is faithfully, whether it's truly, whether it's sincerely, whether it's warm regards. Sometimes we write in warm regards, so depends to whom the letter is going to, from whom, and to where. And then we have signatures. Signature has to be there, and it is 6 spaces, you know, usually about 6 spaces, you know, that are left for the actual handwritten signature. So see, you have to follow. There's a very strict format, you know, to the structure of a business letter. Then we have the enclosures. If there are any enclosures, we need to put in the enclosures. Any carbon copy we need to put in, any checks, any document. So we mention it as enclosures. Then we have the PS, is the postscript. So this is a bit of a writing which is added to the letter after the signature. Again, you know, this has to be signed in. And PS is just, you know, an extra message that needs to be reinforced. So it's anything that you need, an extra point that you need to mention. So then you can write in P.S. and then, for example, if there's a sale, you know, a letter on the, if there's a sales letter, you know, that has been sent, Then you can write, don't forget the sale closes. So this is a very important point, when it comes to the closing date. So PS is also important. As per need, it can be added. So this is just an example of your bank correspondence. When a bank corresponds, how it is. See the pattern, the date is there. It's as short as can be, and just running in few lines, like 4 lines, and then that's that. You can just go through it. Then this is like a fire insurance claim letter. Again, a preview of it I have given here. Why so? Because obviously here we have the name of the insurer. Who's the insurer? The insurance company that we are talking about. If there's a name to it, you have to mention whomsoever, and the claim can be made. So likewise, this is the format that needs to be followed.